So this weekend on Saturday, for the first time in my life, I voted for a Democrat. Voted this morning for Kamala Harris for president. In Allentown, Pennsylvania, with the majority of Puerto Ricans, Latinos, they are going to take the trash out today. They were very concerned.
I've been watching him lately, and he's really deteriorated massively.
And if you're going out to vote this morning, thank you. Don't sit this one out.
Bring on the cackling hens. I hate this show, but I gotta watch today. I gotta do it. Oh, look at Sunny's fake ass smile. You know she's pissed. And why is she wearing all black? This ain't a funeral.
I don't know. I'm profoundly disturbed. I think if you look at the New York Times this morning, the headline was "America makes a perilous choice." I think that in 2016 we didn't know what we would get from a Trump administration, but we know now. So I worry. Not
Of
about
course
myself,
you do.
Actually.
Of course you do.
I worry about my station in life. I worry about my children's future, especially my daughter, who now has less rights than I have.
Oh, give me a break.
And
Because she
remember
can't
my
kill your
father
grandchildren?
telling me many years ago that I was the first person in his family to enjoy full civil rights.
By the way,
Civil
her
rights that I
kids
had
go
when he
to
told me
Harvard
that.
University.
So again, I'm
These last several months, the polls have had everything neck and neck, but last night it was what happened to whose neck got broke? Where did it go?
Have you flesh out some of the numbers, some of the demographics, representation? What did that translate into or not?
Talk about the Latinos, please.
What headway did Trump make with Black and Latinos? Can we talk about?
My favorite subject.
Sure, yeah. The gender gap was about what it usually is, right? It's about 20-point gender gap, right? Trump won men by about 10 points, and Harris won women by about 10 points. But inside those numbers, you saw some really stark things with Latino voters. The fact that it was only an 8-point gap, that Harris was only carrying Latinos by 8 points, was really startling to me.
Startling.
Tell us why.
Because I think the conventional wisdom for a long time has been that Latino voters are more likely to support a Democrat. And I think everything leading up to, and then including the Madison Square Garden rally last weekend,
Oh
saying,
my God.
okay, he's saying all these things that are going to be obviously offensive to
But aren't they
Latino
socially
voters.
conservative?
Some, you can't speak. You can't speak.
Yeah, I mean, there's progressives or socially conservatives. There's everything.
And that's an important point because you
Idiots.
realize actually Latino voters, a lot of them just think like other voters. And
Oh, what a
all
shock.
kinds of
Oh
voters.
my
It was
God.
men, it was women, Latino, Black. It didn't matter. That people said, you know what? I know who that guy is. I may not like him, but I really don't like the fact that things are more expensive. I don't like that things don't feel as secure as they did a couple years ago. And they held their noses in many cases and decided to support someone that they know very well. And it may not even be a judgment about Vice President Harris. She was stuck.
Oh, yeah, it was.
In our
It was.
polls, 3/4 of the country who say we're on the wrong track, right? 40-something% who say I'm in a worse place financially than I was 4 years ago. That's a very difficult argument
Look at her face.
to argue against if someone feels that, because they're not going to believe any statistic or number.
Well, I want to dig further into the demographics because Black women tried to save this country again last night. 92% of Black women voted for the vice president. We did not have is white women who voted about 52%, right, for Donald Trump. Uneducated white women, is my understanding.
Uneducated white
You know,
women.
men actually voting more for him, and you have and Black men was not the story. We're not the story here because they voted almost 80% for the vice president.
Right.
So why do you think that uneducated white women voted against their reproductive health freedoms?
Oh
And why
my
do you
God.
think
Look at how
that,
she's asking these questions.
Voted in favor of someone that's going to deport. That says he's going to deport the majority of his community.
Women like being called uneducated
Hello,
women.
tell
I
her.
think the economy matters, national
That's what
security
the poll
matters.
said.
But when you put people in these boxes, I think that's a takeaway from this.
We
Yep,
we
she's
have
right.
to look at the demographics.
And people make these judgments, and they make them in complex ways, and sometimes.
And you
people
idiots
just
live in an
show
echo chamber.
self-interest
That's
in
why.
some narrow
That's why
areas,
you're
or
shocked.
Even some broad areas. And I think this was actually a moment of remarkable unity at the end of the day, in terms of how an election.
Not the one, not the unity that they wanted.
I wanted to ask you a little bit.
Not the unity that they wanted.
Women's health care and abortion is specifically was on the definitely one of the cries from the Democratic Party. They were really banking on it, I think, and only 14% of Americans voted for that particular thing. Why do you think women didn't turn out for that?
I think there's a little bit of. I think it's been in the ether for so long, and now it's been codified.
Because women aren't a monolith, that's why.
Vote multiple campaign, and then we saw with the Harris campaign.
Listen to this.
You tried to run more traditional campaigns. You're very disciplined about the events you do, the kind of interviews you do. It became an event when she came on The View instead of just just say yes and show up everywhere.
Right.
Trump was showing up everywhere. And
He doesn't show up here.
Not here anymore, but he was on Twitter constantly trying to make that noise and that disruption. And even if it's not good news, at least he was out there. And
The exit polls showed According to our research department here at ABC News, the state of democracy was the top issue to voters overall. So that
No, it's a
says
Democrat
that
voters.
they voted for a guy
me a break.
who wanted to overthrow the election, who also said he would be a dictator on day one, and they also said that democracy was number
Lie.
one. So I'm concluding that
That's a
maybe
lie.
they don't believe him.
It amazes me. It amazes me that after an ass whooping that Democrats had, especially The View had last night, that Sunny Hostin would frame the question the way that she did. Polls show that white women, uneducated white women, voted for Donald Trump. So why would those uneducated white women vote against their own access to abortions? Why? And as much as I don't like Alyssa Farah Griffin for her rhetoric and how she grifts to the left just to appease her co-host, I love the fact that she at least called Sunny out and said, you probably shouldn't frame it that way. It's probably not smart to do that, because that's the reason why we're sitting where we are right now, is that type of framing, that type of polarization, that type of judgment, that sticking your nose in the air and acting as though your little elitist ass is a representative of all people. It's not. First of all, your children, Sunny Hostin, go to Harvard University. You make 6 to 7 figures a year. Your husband's a surgeon. You live in a mansion. You are not a typical voter. You don't understand what it's like for the people that are out here in these streets who are really struggling, okay, while you're sitting there collecting checks on a talk show. Race baiting, which is all that you do. And the fact that she is stunned, the fact that any of them are stunned is just laughable to me. It is laughable. And the fact that they're all wearing black, I just love it. Make no mistake about it. Wearing black was definitely their way of protest or a mourning, so to speak. That segment did not disappoint. Especially the segment about Latin people. Ana Navarro has been on an insane campaign nonstop about Puerto Rican people and how we're gonna vote, and Latino people and what we're gonna do. And this whole scare tactics campaign backfired in their face because Latin people came through, okay? 2020, Biden had 32% of the Latino vote nationwide. This time around, only 8%. Only 8%. If that doesn't tell you what is going on here, then nothing will. And to speak to Joy's point about, oh, well, exit polls show that most voters care about the democracy, so why would they vote for somebody who's against democracy? First of all, I saw those exit polls, and it was divided based on Democrats and Republicans. So most Republicans at the exit polls, their main concern was the economy, not saving democracy. And abortion was like low on the list. Democrats, however, their main concern was democracy, followed by abortion. Okay, so that explains why the voters that you're looking at wanted democracy. It wasn't across the board. First of all, we all want democracy. Let's not be stupid here, right? We all live in a republic that moves on the basis of the will of the people. We all know this. However, when you ask a question like, do you want to save democracy? That's a loaded question because you're only asking it with ulterior motives, which is to say that, well, if you want democracy, you can't vote for Donald Trump because Donald Trump doesn't want democracy. Everybody knows that is exactly why you're asking that question. We're not stupid. But again, the people, by and large, came together and said, we're not falling for that nonsense. We're not falling for it. We do have a republic that works. You may not like it, but it works. And our votes will be heard. And we care more about our families and our economy than abortion, one of the most divisive topics in the nation. And that's what Kamala Harris ran on, abortion. Donald Trump was talking to the will of the people as far as the economy and struggling families and safety for our families. And Kamala Harris was running on abortion the entire time. Abortion, abortion, abortion. You know why that's a stupid thing to run on? A, it's very divisive. B, that isn't a man's issue as far as top priorities. So you're expecting the female vote to carry over. And as we saw, it did not. And you know why? Because not every single woman is a pro-choice, abortion-loving woman. I know, shocking. There actually are pro-life women. There actually are women who don't value the idea of rushing to abortion or using abortion as a form of birth control. And women are not buying this framing of if you don't support killing unborn babies, then you don't support women's rights. That type of talk is no different than if you don't condemn Donald Trump as a Latin person, then you support Hitler. See how stupid that sounds? This polarization, this broad brush that The View loves to do is exactly why they're sitting there today going, what happened? What happened? You guys are out of touch. You guys live in an echo chamber. You guys talk to a liberal audience in New York City and you get cheers every single day. And you thought that that little audience and that control group was going to be a reflection of the entire country. And now you're sitting there shocked, unsure what happened. And how did you not learn this already? This happened in 2016. Did it not? This very same thing, the same storyline happened in 2016, not just with two women running as the main ticket, but the way the media treated that candidate versus Donald Trump. The bias, the elitist attitude, the looking down on people, calling Trump voters uneducated people. Well, guess what? I guess majority of the country is uneducated because we all voted for Donald Trump in vast numbers. And yes, that guy was right. We all united under Trump, not under Kamala Harris, like you all thought we were going to do. And that's why you guys are sitting there scratching your heads. It's going to be a fun next 4 years because I guarantee you Sunny Hostin is going to lose her mind every single episode. And they are part of the reason as to why Donald Trump is back in the office. They're so tone deaf. It's unreal how tone deaf liberals are, especially those in the media. How do you not learn this lesson? Like how? Here we are again. And it's a lesson that I learned because back in 2016, I could not stand Donald Trump. I didn't vote for Hillary Clinton. I voted third party, but I still was on the hate train for Donald Trump. And then guess what? I woke up and I realized how stupid I sounded and how uneducated I was on main topics. And then when I started to educate myself, I started to realize, wow, was I wrong? And I owned it. But people like Sunny Hostin, who are true elitists, who think that their thoughts and their views and their opinions are the end-all be-all, they look down on people like us. And that's the truth. And that's why the Democrat Party is losing voters, because they no longer are the party of the people. They are the party of the corporate establishment, elites, liberal educated people who think that their social justice, identity politics, DEI bullcrap is what America wants. And we keep saying, we don't want that. How many times? And they just won't listen. Yeah. That segment was everything I wanted it to be. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this video and of their reaction. I want to know everything in the comments down below, how you interpret what they just said on that talk show. Those ladies are so lost. And looking at Whoopi Goldberg and her like, gold. I don't need Christmas gifts this year. Christmas came early. If you enjoy my content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit my notification bell so you know when I post a brand new video. Until next time.